Good morning, everyone. My topic for the lecture is nerve block. There are various types of nerve block for the maxillary and mandibular. In maxillary, there are the nerve blocks are posterior superior alveolar nerve block, middle superior alveolar nerve block, anterior superior and middle superior alveolar nerve block, greater palatine nerve block, and nasopalatine nerve block. And for mandibular, inferior alveolar nerve block, buccal nerve block, mental nerve block, incisive nerve block, and Gauger's mandibular nerve block, and the Vazironi Akinosi nerve block. First, I will tell you about the maxillary nerve block. First one is the PSA nerve block, that is the posterior superior alveolar nerve block. The nerve that is nerve anesthetized is posterior superior alveolar nerve, and the area anesthetized are the pulp of the maxillary third, second, and first molar, and the buccal periodontium of the buccal periodontium and the bone overlying these teeth. The anatomic landmarks: mucobuccal fold and its concavity, zygomatic process of the maxilla, infratemporal surface of the maxilla, anterior border and coronoid process of the ramus of the mandible, and maxillary tuberosity. What are the indications? Indications are when treatment involves two or more maxillary molars, when supraperiosteal injection is contraindicated, and when supraperiosteal injection has more proof ineffective. Then contraindication: when the risk of hematoma is too high, and in case a periosteal or PDL is recommended. The advantages: it is atraumatic, it has high success rate, it has minimized the amount of local injection used. The disadvantages: it has high risk of hematoma, it doesn't anesthetize the first molar completely, no bony landmarks during injection, and the second injection is necessary for first maxillary molar. Now the needle pathway during the injection. Needle penetrates the mucosa and alveolar tissue and possibly the buccal pad of fat. It penetrates the posterior fibers of the buccinator muscle. Now the approximating structure when needle is in position. When needle is in final position, it should be as full. It should be posterior to the posterior surface of the maxilla, anterior and lateral to the anterior margin of the external pterygoid muscle, anterior to the pterygoid plexus of vein, and needle will be in proximity to the posterior superior alveolar canal. The signs and symptoms: there is no subjective symptoms, and instrumentation is necessary to demonstrate the pain of vein for objective symptoms. Safety measures: slow injection and repeated aspiration. The precaution: the depth of the needle penetration should be checked. Over insertion increases the risk of hematoma. The failure of anesthesia: when the needle is placed too laterally, the needle is too high and needle is too far posteriorly. Now the complication is hematoma and the mandibular nerve anesthesia. Then the medial superior alveolar nerve. The nerve anesthetized are medial superior alveolar nerve and its terminal branch, and the area anesthetized is the pulp of the maxillary first and second premolar and mediobuccal root of the first molar. And the buccal periodontal tissue and bone of these teeth. Now the anatomic landmarks. Mucobuccal fold above the maxillary second premolar. The advantages for this nerve block are it minimizes the number of injection and volume of solution. Indication: when infraorbital nerve block fails to provide pulpal anesthesia distal to the maxillary canine, and when dental procedures involving both premolars. And the contraindications are injection or infection or inflammation in the area of injection. And the second one is where the MSA nerve is absent. Now the technique for the MSA nerve block. Chair position. For right-handed patient, for right-handed operator, it should be 10 o'clock, and 8 or 9 o'clock position for left-handed operator. Stretch the upper lip to make the tissue taut and to gain visibility. Insert the needle to the height of the mucobuccal fold above the second premolar. Aspirate if negative, then slowly deposit 0.2 to 1.2 ml of the solution. Now the signs and symptoms. Subjective upper lip should be numb during the subjective symptoms, and there will be no pain in objective symptoms. Precautions: do not insert too rapidly and too close to the periosteum. Now the anterior superior alveolar nerve block. The nerve anesthetized are the anterior superior alveolar nerve, medial superior alveolar nerve, infraorbital nerve, and the inferior palpebral, superior level, inferior level, and the lateral nasal. Area anesthetized are the pulp of maxillary central incisor through canine on the injected side, pulp of maxillary premolar and mesobuccal root of the molar, then buccal periodontium and bone of these teeth, and lower eyelid and lateral aspect of the nose and upper lip, and the anatomic landmarks. Infraorbital notch, infraorbital depression, infraorbital lace, supraorbital notch, anterior teeth, and the pupil of the eye. Needle pathway during injection. There are two approaches. First one is the bicuspid approach. in bi and the second one is the central incisor approach. In bicuspid approach, it passes through the mucosa and the areolar tissue and during injection it should pass beneath and lateral to the external maxillary artery and anterior facial vein. And the central incisor approach, it should pass through the mucosa and areolar tissue and beneath the angular head of the levator levi superioris muscle and proceed entirely to the origin of levator anguli oris and beneath the external maxillary artery and anterior facial vein. The approximating structure when the needle is in position. When in final position at the orifice of infraorbital canal, it should be beneath the infraorbital head of levator levi superioris muscle and above the origin of levator anguli oris muscle. Now the indications. Dental procedures involving more than 2 maxillary teeth and their overlying buccal tissue, inflammation and infection when supraperiosteal injection has been ineffective because of dense cortical bone. The contraindication, discrete treatment areas and hemostasis of the localized area. The advantages for this nerve block are comparatively simple technique and it is comparatively safe, minimizes the volume of solution and number of needle puncture necessary to achieve anesthesia. Now the greater palatine nerve block. In greater palatine nerve block, the nerve anesthetized is the greater palatine nerve, and the area anesthetized are the posterior portion of the hard palate and its overlying tissue, and anteriorly as far as the first premolar and medially to the midline. Indication: when palatal soft tissue anesthesia is necessary for restorative therapy on more than 2 teeth. Pain control during periodontal and oral surgical procedures involving the palatal soft and the hard tissue. Then the contraindication. Inflammation or infection at the injection site. It is a very small area of therapy. The advantages are it minimizes the needle penetration, it minimizes the volume of solution, and it minimizes the patient discomfort. Disadvantages are it has no hemostasis if achieved and it is potentially traumatic. Precautions: do not enter the foramen. Then the failure of the anesthesia. If it is deposited too far anterior to the foramen and if the anesthesia in the area of first premolar may prove inadequate because of overlapping from nasopalatine nerve. Then the complication: ischemia and necrosis of the soft tissue when highly concentrated vasoconstriction solution used for hemostasis over a prolonged period. Hematoma is possible but rare because of density and film adherence. Then the nasopalatal nerve block. Area anesthetized is the nasopalatal nerve and the area anesthetized are the anterior portion of the heart palate from medial of the right first premolar to the medial of the left first premolar. Then the indications. Indication when palatal soft tissue anesthesia is required for restorative therapy on more than 2 teeth and for pain control during periodontal and oral surgical procedures involving palatal soft and hard tissue. Then the contraindication. Inflammation or infection at the infection site and it is smaller area of therapy. Now the advantages and disadvantages. It minimizes needle penetration and volume of solution. And disadvantage is it requires multiple injection and difficult to stabilize the syringe. And the complications are necrosis of the soft tissue. The second one is the tender of interdental papilla for several days. Then the anatomic landmarks. Anatomic landmarks of the central incisor and the incisive papilla. Then the technique. Two types of technique are there. First one is single penetration and second one is multiple penetration. In single technique, the area of insertion should be to the palatal mucosa just lateral to the incisive papilla. Then target area for the single technique is incisive foramen beneath the papilla, and the path should be approach the injection site at 45-degree angle towards the papilla, and chair position should be 9 to 10 o'clock position facing in the same direction as the patient. Now slowly advance the needle towards the foramen until bone is gently contact. Now slowly deposited 0.45 to 15 point in 15 to 30 seconds. Now the second approach. Retract the multiple penetration. The procedure is retract the upper lip to stretch the tissue and improve visibility. Gently insert in the frenum and deposit 0.3 ml in approximately 15 seconds. And the second injection at 11 to 12 o'clock position, tilting the patient and in the right and needle at right angle to the interdental papilla. Needle is inserted into the papilla just above the level of crestal bone. You should aspirate when ischemia is noted in the incisive papilla or needle tip become visible just beneath the tissue surface. The signs and symptoms are the subjective symptoms. It shows numbness in the upper lip and anterior portion of the hard palate, and objective symptoms, no pain. Now these are all about the maxillary nerve block.